Test. Test.
Me, mo, mo, me, mo, mo, mo.
Test. Ah.
Yeah! Summer loving, having so fast. Happy summer, Rodney. We took a couple weeks off because we were all vacationing and partying and doing weddings.
Ready to fuck! Yeah!
Yeah! Did it down! Ready to fuck! That will be our newest hit single, Ready to Fuck by Rodney. Rodney, I almost forgot your last name, Rodney.
Chesterfield, you fucking dick. You don't see me for a few days and you're like, oh,
remember your name. Funny story, we got new employees at my work, and I'm so bad with names that, you know how somebody tells you their name right away?
I don't ever remember names.
I don't remember it right away, and then it gets to the point where he knows my name and he's having conversations with me, and I
keep
realize,
saying it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't know his name.
Well,
And
the best thing you can do is use their name like right away, like as many times as you can.
Oh man. As soon as he left the room, I'd go to everybody else. I'm like, what is his name? I don't know his name. Is it Bob? Is it Billy? And like, it's Seth. I'm like, I was like, not even close. I'm like, okay, well, he looked like a Bob.
I'm terrible with names too, but I remember faces.
Faces? Yeah, they'll stick.
I'm like, I got that person for the rest of my life. I'm like, where'd I meet you? I met you 6 summers ago at Lake Wallakawiki.
Yeah, but when you do that, you creep them out. Like, for face people and not names people, you can see somebody 3 years later and be like, I know who you are. And they'll be like, what the fuck?
I know you.
Hello.
We were friends.
It usually doesn't help when you approach them that way. Be like, hey.
Hey, everybody. This is my friend.
This is my creeper voice. I met you 3 years ago. And I know where you live.
I met you 3 years ago in my dreams.
I slept in your bed.
In my dreams.
So,
I wanna sleep in your bed.
'Cause I'm ready to fuck! Yeah! Ba-ba-da-chow. I'm just turning to white snake.
I'm ready to fuck! Yeah!
Who are you ready to fuck, Rodney? Who are you ready to fuck? Is it Donald Trump? It's Donald Trump, right? I know it's Donald Trump. Because he's got me wanting to leave the country right now. Because 25%...
He's got you ready to fuck?
he's got me ready to say fuck him, I guess. That's where I was going.
You want to fuck Donald Trump?
Well, I mean, if it would give me a lot of money, let's see. How much money would you need to fuck Donald Trump?
I would never. I don't sell out, so you couldn't find the right amount of money.
Well, that's probably a safe bet.
$1 million in front of me, though.
I'm ready to fuck! For $1 billion. No, but fuck that guy. That's what I meant by that.
You just want to fuck him?
I just want to like have him be fucked.
I'm pretty sure he gets fucked.
He probably gets fucked, but fucked in the I don't know, financial realm. I don't know. How many times was he bankrupt? Was he bankrupt 4 times or something?
Lots of people go bankrupt, man.
I know. But it seems like such a smart business play. I want to go bankrupt. Like I thought about it. I'm like, I'm just gonna go bankrupt.
That's the thing, though. If you owe enough money, you pretty much own the bank.
Yeah.
So they can't let you go bankrupt.
Oh fuck.
It's kind of like what you're watching in Greece right now.
Oh,
they owe so much money that like the banks that have the debt are like, we can't let this happen. We need to figure out a way to get more money so we can get paid off. Which is like, so every time they get like some austerity money from other places, it just goes to the banks. You're kind of like, wait, it's just going to the banks.
Wait, where'd all the money go? So yeah, I mean, Greece got more money out, so they owe more money to the banks that they can't pay. That's how I understand it.
Money they got went to the banks.
Oh, right. So who's paying who?
It's just a bunch of banks, man.
Is it a shell game, or I just don't understand it?
It's a shell game.
It's not even fun. I don't know. Like, are we the only people that see this? That's what I think sometimes.
No, there's lots of people that see it, but no one knows what to do about it.
I guess that's the biggest thing. It's just like, well, what are we going to do? We can let Greece go under and then they have riots on the street. Or,
They already are.
I mean, they control it for like, what, 6 more months?
I don't think so. I think they still have. I think they still controls and limitations in lots of places. Lots of people that are successful fled Greece, like doctors are leaving, lawyers are leaving, business people are leaving. Like a lot of people are leaving just because it's really tough. I think they fell back onto the barter system in some cases. I read that some businesses, because of the collateral controls that they have, that they can't move money very easily or get enough money to make trades, they're like figuring out companies and vendors that they can just trade goods for. It's a very screwed up situation.
How do you feel about Merkel? They're in Germany. That's her name, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got that right.
I said, Merkel.
Merkel. That's how
it's like, Merkel. Not you.
Yeah. We are the worst German accent people. Here's some sausage. Well, that was like Jersey. Rodney's got it down.
No, I don't. That's not it either.
I'm glad this is on the internet somewhere. I'm going to tag this German. So, there's people who are like push back against the European Union and break away from the power the Franks are putting over Greece. And I feel like Merkel's kind of gotten to be the evil leader to the people who think that Greece should separate from the EU. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like, I kind of like understand Germany's prerogative, where it's like you need to pay us back or keep the euro, from, tanking a little bit. But at the same time, I don't like a whole country being at the mercy of banks or other countries. So,
I mean, the whole European Union is kind of a sham right now.
Is it a failed experiment? It feels like a failed experiment to me.
I don't know if it's a failed experiment because, define failed experiment. In what sense?
Well, like I feel like if you're going to make the European Union work or the Euro work, it almost becomes like the United States of America. They become like states of the same union. But I don't feel like that's happened. Right? They haven't gotten like this loyalty to each other that the United States have.
So I think it might be, who knows how it's going to go, but I think it's an evolving system, right? It's very cool that these countries are trying to figure out a way that they can trade and protect each other and have less war and less conflict. Mm-hmm. Where I think they slipped up in this case was that they did not follow through with the fundamentals that were defined what qualifications countries needed to begin participating in the European Union. And Greece is a prime example of that. Some banks literally helped them cook their books and hide a lot of debt in order to meet the qualifications to qualify to become part of the European Union. A lot of the countries didn't do their due diligence and really look into the financials and the I don't know what you want to call it, off-book deals and stuff that some of these countries had. And then also the fact that they didn't have a central governing body.
Right.
Because that's kind of what they probably need, is to have a central governing body where they all have to really do it, have a representative government that is looking at all of their financials and looking at looking what people are doing or saying, hey, because then this wouldn't have probably gotten to where it is today. But at the same time, can you really blame Germany, which is a country that's been using very sound financial principles and have really, grown their economy pretty smartly, for being a little upset that they have to keep bailing out a country that has not been nearly as financially responsible.
Right.
I understand the reason they don't want to just be like, oh yeah, we're just going to do whatever you want. For the same token, if they want the European Union to stay together, they almost need to do even a lot more than what they're suggesting they're going to do.
Yeah.
They basically have to say you don't have to pay off your debt for a while, rebuild your economy, come up with some sound revenue streams, and then we'll start working this down.
That sounds legit, Mr. Rodney.
No one wants to do that, though. You just want to have a bunch of unpaid debt just sitting there. It's like, oh.
Well, it's good for the banks, or at least it seems that way, right? That's the jaded view some people have, and sometimes I have. Corrupt banking takeover. That's the fatalistic, overdramatic look on it.
Lots of centralized banking does that. It indebts a society, and then it tricks them into selling off the physical assets and the rights to the assets that they have.
Sons of bitches. What about China? Let's talk about China, unless you have more to say about Greece, because...
I mean, they're kind of interrelated. I mean,
Yeah.
they have another country that has been cooking its books and hedging up markets and using propaganda to convince people to dump their life savings into a marketplace that was completely rigged and was basically totally unfounded on sound economic principles. And you're seeing it collapse, and the correction is probably not going to stop anytime soon.
And so everybody knows, on Monday, July 27th-ish, the market dropped 8.5% in a day, and it was dropping before that. And
It's
then
been dropping for weeks. They've been fucking with it. They've been doing everything they can.
And
They've literally frozen companies from trading. They've not allowed people to sell. They're doing everything. They're dumping tons of money into it. They're lowering interest rates. I mean, they're doing every fucking thing possible, and it continues to drop.
yeah, what happened was in early July, before we did the show, it was kind of starting to drop, and the government came in and tried to prop it up a little bit. And then it took 2 or 3 more weeks until everybody's like, no, we're selling again. But government has a rule where it's like, after 10% drop, like, you can't trade anymore of that stock. And so stocks were being taken off the board.
They were taking people to jail that were shorting the market too, and like making trades against the market.
Oh, really?
Literally throwing people in jail for...
I mean, it didn't surprise me in China, but I didn't hear that just because. But what made me kind of open my eyes to it is just like, oh yeah, government manipulation of markets is kind of, well, in China it might be more severe in America. That might be up for debate, but I don't know. But it did kind of like open my eyes and be like, hey, this isn't good. You shouldn't be doing that. You should kind of let this crash, right? I mean, you don't want your people to suffer, but at the same time, it's like, you can't fake it. Like when if you've been bullshitting for 3 years, and your bullshit's coming home to roost, like, fuck. I don't know.
I mean, there's a reckoning for everyone. I mean, I think you're watching what's happening in Greece. You watch what's happening in China. I think you're going to see that same thing happen here. I think, people are talking about a market correction of, maybe 10, 15%. When I talk to some of my friends that work in the financial markets, and they always disagree with me about this. They think, oh, no, everything's fine. Everything's doing very well. They'll talk about unemployment numbers. They'll talk about the stock market specifically, and all the tech companies and all these, Facebook, Apple, fucking whatever. If you take Apple out of the fucking tech market and you look at the rest of them, you see a lot of them are actually flatlined or actually going down. So.
Right. The U.S. Market actually over the last, I think it was 200 days I was reading this week, has started to go back. It was losing gains at a pace that hasn't happened in, I guess, 8 months. So there's kind of a slowing down happening.
And you also see these major shifts during the day. You'll see these major shifts in trades. You'll see these dumps and just people buy the fucking dip. It just fucking goes down and they pump it back up.
Yeah.
And especially right before they close. They try to pump it back up, maintain confidence until the next day, because if the market closes down, it's much worse than if it can close back at least on a little bit of an upswing, even if they don't get it all back.
Yeah.
And it's fucking crazy. I mean, the fact that all these analysts you see on TV and everyone, all these talking heads are talking about how everything's good and everything's doing really well, so many of them, and it's just complete bullshit. That's not true at all. I mean, unemployment is I don't think we've had the type of unemployment we have right now since the 70s. Mm-hmm. Things are not good. Mr.
Obama says it's at 5.6%, which is
that?
Lower than where Mr. Romney would have it by 2016. Is his big selling point right now.
Yeah, because they just stopped counting people.
Now see,
they literally
I haven't fact checked that, but I understand what you're saying. For me, when I look around, especially this part of the country, I'm like, people have jobs that are just not good jobs, or part-time jobs, or they have to have 3 part-time jobs to pay their bills.
They count those as 3 people in a lot of those statistics. If you have unemployment jobs or 3 part-time jobs, a lot of those statistics they'll count you as 3 people because those are 3 jobs. That's not one job.
Yeah. While you're looking that up, I'm going to mention...
Out of the 250 million working-age people, 93 million are not working.
That seems enormous.
It is.
It seems too enormous.
Look it up.
What does it say? Repeat that. Repeat that.
All right, here are the numbers as of the most recent employment situation report. 250 million total number of people working age in the United States. 149 million, the total number of people in the population that have a job. 8 million is the number of people who want a job but do not have one, leaving 93 million, the number of people who don't work and don't want work.
That's insane. What site is this?
This is This is from Zero Hedge, but this is, stating from the Employment Situation Report. Usually this is a pretty accurate website. This website's pretty fringe, but it's getting more and more traction because it has a lot of insiders that post on it that aren't willing to post on major media because they don't want their name to be out there.
I do know a lot more people are going to alternative media these days because the other media is shitty.
Well, it's just bought and paid for.
Yeah.
The employment numbers are appalling. When you really get down into the hard numbers, you can make statistics say whatever you want, but we have a tremendous number of working age people that are just not in the workforce right now. You're like, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I'm like, I went to PolitiFact. We could have breaking news here on Whisky and Wifi.
Breaking news!
93 million people are on welfare. Here you go. Well, here's at least one thing that...
There's a Gallup poll.
Goes in your favor. In July 28, 2015.
One thing that goes in your favor, Rodney.
That I found so far.
Piece of shit.
Immediately. So it's pretty good. And I heard this just yesterday because, I get panicked too about the economy because I honestly think it's probably going to not crash, but at least...
We're young. I scared the shit out of some of my coworkers the other day when I was like, you know what? If things fucking burst, you guys keep saying how you're fucking us. I was like, if things collapse, you're not going to be able to rebuild. At least I'm young enough to rebuild. And the guy just looked at me and was like... I might have said that the other time.
I don't think he did. I think that was just in our emails. But Barack Obama said yesterday, which made me feel all good and warm inside, he goes, the economy, by every metric, is better than when I came into office. PolitiFact rates that mostly false. So, there you have it. Breaking news. Us liberals are complete idiots.
That's pretty funny. PolitiFact says you're lying.
Well, the one thing I did want to mention before I forget, because CNN Business, whatever that offshoot of that site is, they did a story after the China crash happened Monday. I started looking around. In the fear index, they have this fear index went from 33 at the end of last month, and now it's down to 7.
Oh, really?
Well, 7 is high.
Oh, okay.
Like 0 is bad. Like
I thought I saw this thing that said everyone's pretty nervous.
Like there's 7%. 7%. Let's say it's 7% confidence in the market right now. So that's how low it is, if you want to put it that way. So the fear is extremely high. It's 93%. Oh shit, we're scared. So that happened. Granted, it was right after China, started, sinking. But does China really affect us? We just buy shit from them. That's all,
everything
right?
affects us.
I mean,
a lot of the American companies, American-owned companies rely on consumption in China. So if China's really hurting, that's one of the biggest growth markets. That's an emerging market. The United States is pretty saturated. Whether or not I think we are the largest consumer in the world. So the economy is very much driven by the American consumer. But also a lot of our jobs are fueled by consumption over the rest of the world, including, China, India. Those are the emerging markets. That's where you can make bigger returns on your investment.
Yeah.
And so a lot of companies have really ramped up and invested in those marketplaces. And so if those places collapse, it definitely is going to have rippling effects. It might take a little while for us to feel it and for us to see it.
Yeah.
But no doubt it will have an impact on us.
I was thinking because China produces so much of our crap, and if they can't sell it now, are we going to go into a deflationary period? Well,
one of the things you also have to recognize is in order for China to do some of the things that they've been doing, they've been selling a lot of U.S. treasuries. They've been selling a lot of the U.S. debt that they hold at astonishing rates, incredible rates. And so other countries have been buying it up, luckily. But if at some point there was that critical mass of countries where they thought U.S. paper wasn't worth holding and they wanted to liquidate it to get something else as quickly as possible, it can make things really interesting really quickly.
That's an interesting angle there, Rodney. Good insight.
There are a lot of people that are suggesting that we might actually experience more of a deflationary period than an inflationary period. And because if you look at the injections that have been going on from central banks all around the world, we've barely been keeping pace with this very modest inflationary expectation. And so it actually suggests that we're actually already experiencing quite a bit of deflation. And, inflation, deflation, neither one's pretty if it's rapid. You want a pretty stable price scheme and sound money that actually gains value. But I don't know. It scares me because right now I owe money for this house. So if we'd have a deflationary period, let's say we have another housing bubble, the housing bubble's inflated again even more so than it was.
I read a story today saying alarming amount of people can't pay their mortgage or something like that. That was on
Well, that's the
CNN
number
as
of people
well.
that are just like under. Yeah.
No, that was MSNBC. But
they can't afford their mortgage, or they're underwater. Or...
Yeah,
So housing, I think the bubble has been reinflated even more so than it was because consumer confidence came back. This low interest rate made it so easy for people to fucking refinance and figure out ways to get housing back. But then you've also seen a huge spike in rental prices, which is interesting. So rental prices going up, and then they're talking about raising interest rates again finally, which would mean that credit would dry up really quickly. But then if you all of a sudden have deflationary pressure on houses, on those types of assets, I mean, what would happen?
Yeah.
Like if all of a sudden you could buy a house downtown, let's say for like $10,000, like any place down here for $10,000.
I'm in.
When you had all these other people, well, no, but maybe to get a loan, it's going to be like 25% interest rate.
Yeah.
So you're paying 25% a year.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so you need to have a shitload down. So that's
Yeah.
only the people that have cash are going to be the ones that win.
Right.
And if cash dries up,
Well, big cities, not even big cities, Harrisburg, the rent is getting kind of ridiculous for what you get, I feel.
dude, I ran into the other day.
Oh, really?
And he told me how much he was like. He said he's paying like so much money for like shitholes, and I'm just like, fuck.
That's the thing. Like, yeah, I guess you need a place to live, but I look at the market right now for apartments, and I'm just like, I don't want to, like I should need to live somewhere.
Right.
But I don't want to pay that much for a shitty apartment. Like, I just don't want to. I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to pay just because I have to, quote
Dude, you should
unquote.
get a tiny house, bro.
Tiny houses, man.
Dude.
Are you? Is Rodney in production with these tiny houses yet?
No, man. But when we camped out the other day, Danielle was like, I could live in this camper.
Yeah.
And we're joking about. I'm like, well, we could like buy a piece of land, pull this there, like get the hookups put in. That this would be like have gas, have power,
Yeah.
have plumbing, and we'd build a house. But we'd live in this while we built the house.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good idea. I'm spoiled in a way because I used to pay $850 a month for a small apartment, but it was right by the beach in LA. And out here, they want like $1,000 for a shithole in Harrisburg. I'm like, I don't want to pay. Like, that doesn't make logical sense to me.
I mean, you can get. I feel like.
I don't know if that's what it is. I've heard rumors from people. I did a housing board meeting, and well, let's move on to the next horrible subject we haven't talked about.
My fucking terrible hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoid commercial in the middle of Whisky and Wifi.
need hemorrhoid relief, get hemorrhoid zap.
Hemorrhoid zap.
Hemorrhoid zap.
Coming to you.
You're squeezing too hard in the toilet, and you hear that little. And you get a little cringe.
We got just what you need.
Yep,
Hemorrhoid
you
zap
need
comes
hemorrhoid
in 4
cream.
different sizes.
Hemorrhoid zap.
8 ounces.
Hemorrhoid
4
zap.
ounces. 2 ounces.
Hemorrhoid
and for some
zap.
of you, 16.
Extra strength.
Okay. So Iran.
Saudi Arabia.
The big hemorrhoids of the Middle East right now, I suppose. We made a deal with Iran, so that's cool, right? They're allowed to work on their nuclear deal.
I just enjoy that our fucking Secretary of State is like, yes, we made this deal, bippity-boppity-boo, and then they said they still want to fucking kill us. I don't understand. It's like, they said before the deal, they said like...
During the deal,
yeah,
they were sharpening knives as they signed.
Fucking hate you. We fucking hate you. And he's like, I don't understand. They're saying they're going to fucking try to kill us. We just gave them some nuclear material to use. But it will take at least 10 to 15 years for them to get enough to make a bomb to kill us.
So World War III is now officially 10 years away.
And they also said they will not let us inspect the sites where they'll be producing said materials. Which is a direct... I think it's a direct violation of the agreement we just made. I'm so surprised.
But please congratulate us.
Let's suck my dick.
In Congress, please don't even challenge what we have to tell you. That's what's happening right now. And I love my lefties. And I love
You love your left-handed hand jobs?
I love whether
I love my lefties, my left-handed hand jobs.
lefties.
Brought to you by lefties.com. Watch women jerk men off point of view style with only their left hands. Lefties.com.
Is that a thing? I'm looking it up just for fun.
Left-handed
Lefties?
left-handed hand jobs?
Google that shit.
Google that shit, left-handed hand jobs. It's just like cum shots.
Oh, this is my work computer. I should probably do it.
So I'll do it with mine then.
Yeah.
Left-handed hand jobs.
It's not even like English. It's like South American.
There
and
you go.
all hand jobs.
No, here we go. Left-handed hand jobs. Tubelambia.com. Then you'll be like, what are you watching? Left-handed hand jobs. It's research for the podcast.
Yeah, this is for the show.
Left-handed hand jobs. Derek's like,
well, you're not just gonna not show me.
I need to get a projector so I'm just like, this is what I'm
The rest of the episode is just us like breathing heavy. Oh my god.
That's not a hand
That's
job.
not
That's a
a hand
blow job. She's definitely blowing the guy.
And that was her right hand.
For those of you that are not watching,
YouTube won't even be able to play this
that
part.
was like it's. We want to see the left-handed hand job. She's painting.
There's literally chopsticks for some reason.
No, she's painting.
Oh.
That's a paintbrush.
Oops. Hey.
There's a soft cock. Oh, that's
That's
left-handed.
it's confirmed.
I don't need to watch this anymore. It's
Yeah,
really
it's
weird.
just two guys watching a guy get jerked off. That's what we do on our Thursday nights here at Whiskey and Wifi.
There's definitely a thing for left-handed. I mean, a lot of videos came up when I searched for that.
Yeah,
So
just so you
many
know.
people search for left-handed.
If you're listening, there is a site for you.
If your fetish is left-handed hand jobs, go to lefthandy.com.
You're welcome.
Left-handy. Go to lemonparty.com. Lemonparty.com.
Yes.
Just say yes to this message.
All right, so
Back to Iran.
Iran.
I'm Carrie.
I was talking about my left. Their heart's in the right
Yeah.
place, and you
Their
want
heart's in the right place, but they're fucking morons.
you want to get in there and inspect that shit. You got to inspect that shit. You got to get in there. But holy fuck, they still hate us. Do you want to give them do you want to help a country that hates you? Do you?
Do you support a man
honestly?
that's surprised, that doesn't have that much forethought, that he thought, like, this might not be a good idea? And then he was surprised that they still hate us, but we gave them what they wanted. And they still didn't even release our prisoners.
That's the thing. It's like
We got nothing out of it. We gave them everything.
we got like security. We feel more secure now, but nobody does.
We got nothing out of it.
And that's one of the things, the poll that came out recently is like most Americans think it's stupid. Like literally. And it's weird because, because I'm from the left. I'm like, you guys usually don't make stupid
There
mistakes.
isn't a left and a right, Derek.
I know,
Fucking
but-
forget this shit.
But when you vote for the guys and they're doing something stupid, you're just like, I didn't vote for you to be a fucking moron.
I felt the same way when I used to think I'm definitely an independent, 100% independent.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, right, yeah.
No,
I think you should be too.
I'm saying I am too, but I just
You still like
I'm
sucking
arguing for
Bernie
the left.
Sanders' union cock.
Yes, that's for sure, or that's certain. I hate saying for sure. It sounds like such a California.
Suck
kid.
off the union
For
dicks.
sure, man.
I like to suck the union dick.
I do. Unionize, fight the man.
I'll fight the man.
I'm a hippie. We're all of us hippies fight the man and the power.
The man, the power.
Yeah.
You just fight for freedom.
No,
Unions
man.
aren't freedom.
We fight the power, man.
Unions aren't freedom either.
I mean,
It's just one more layer of control.
it's a different type of control.
Is it?
It isn't like corporate
Is it?
control, man.
Oh, I mean, they do just take money out of your paycheck.
I mean, but you agree to it.
I mean, but in a lot of the places, you either sign up for the union or you don't get the job.
Oh, here comes President nominee wannabe Scott Walker here all of a sudden, Rodney.
Scott Walker.
You sound like Scott Walker over there, buddy.
Go fuck yourself. I believe in freedom. I believe that people should have equal opportunities. I believe that you shouldn't have to fucking sign up with a union to get a job.
Okay, here comes Sir Ted Cruz all of a sudden.
Here's hippie Derek. Gotta go to resort to name calling rather than talking logic and facts.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just don't have that discussion right now, so I just want to make fun of you.
Back to Iran and Saudi Arabia.
I mean, we've done that before. That's why I want to go back to Iran. But yeah, we both know where we stand on unions. And
I was just saying you're sucking the union dick.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all I said. That's all I said.
I suck it good. I take that union shaft and I polish it. What the hell's happening?
Do you hear what you just said? You just made that a soundbite. I take the Union shaft and I polish it.
That's gonna be run that for 2016 and support Bernie
I
Sanders.
feel like you should have a video of you doing shake weights with that soundbite. I shake the Union shaft and polish it.
shaft. I love that Union shaft. It's so rewarding. I have health care. The whole time it's just medical erection too. Just
You're
to
just
make
coming.
Oh, I can't stop.
She's a big fake.
My kids can afford college.
No, they can't afford college.
What?
They can't afford college.
No, but I mean, if they had good representatives to give them decent wages.
No, they can't afford college, dude.
I don't know if they can afford college.
They get a exactly. Why can't they afford college? Why? We don't have to go there. We're jumping all over the place.
We're jumping all over the place. Damn it, Iran! Is Israel going to get blown up? Let's go back there. Let's go to that hot topic.
I mean, eventually. All right. If you were to say, all right, there's this little piece of land surrounded by a bunch of people that hate them. Are they ever going to get fucked with? I would say 100% yes. If you just have infinite time and nothing else fucks with us, like if nothing else has happened that destroys that area or changes it, eventually, yes, something's going to happen.
It's like a limit in math and calculus. Like it's
just about to happen. Like eventually it's going to happen. It's like watching kids throw an egg back and forth, even if they have really soft hands and they're being really careful and they're like, oh, the egg toss. These kids are so good at it. They're going to drop the egg. It's going to crack.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a rumor out there floating around, and I don't know if it's just crazy people, but some people are saying, oh, you know what, Israel's going to strike Iran first because America's turned their back on them and they feel threatened and they think they need to make them first move. And I'm like, well, that would be fucked up. That would kind of get everything started over there. But, you know, and the thing is, it's not
be ideal.
It would not be ideal, but the thing is, like, it's crazy, but I'm like, yeah, I could see Israel doing that for some reason because, I don't know.
Or I could
BB
see,
just seems like
I'm
ready to
just waiting for
blow
the
shit
I'm
up.
just waiting for a big false flag.
Oh man,
Like something just like a big false flag though, just somewhere. Whether it's there, whether it's somewhere like in India. I mean, because like, India and Pakistan fucking hate each other, and they both have nukes.
Don't talk about those guys. We're worried about Iran, but we're not even talking about.
Well, that's right there too. I mean, it's all. I mean, it's all right there.
I'm just saying, it's like we don't think about those guys as
India,
much.
India, Pakistan, Afghanistan. I mean, keep moving over.
And yeah, they're pissed off. And Pakistan's got a lot of radicals, right?
But I just mean like the instability in that region altogether is just pretty frightening.
Yeah, the whole thing is.
And you still have the whole situation in Syria.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the whole ISIS thing.
The ISIS thing's nuts. It's still going and it's growing, and
I mean,
you
all
got
of that.
people being turned on American soil, and so much so that Wesley Clark wanted to get people thrown into internment camps. I don't even know. Conspiracy say like this. He said it. It's not even conspiracy. He said it on MSNBC.
That will be our conspiracy corner.
Yeah.
Internment camps coming to a country near you.
He's like, we should throw these radicals into internment camps because that's what we did during World War II. If you work for America,
fuck you. If you're not for fucking killing other people, if you're not for fucking spending half of your money on bombs made by Lockheed Martin and was it Raycom or wasn't
Raycom's right? Raytheon.
One of those fuckers.
Raytheon.
Then fuck you, we're gonna lock you up in a fucking little tent community and you're gonna have to wear pink underwear.
Now, conspiracy corner to that is I heard people are like, they already have plans to like psychologically like convert you back to being a good American. I'm like, that's conspiracy corner. If that would happen.
Good Americans do question things. That's what I don't like. I mean, like, obviously a good American doesn't just go around and kill people under the name of jihad or some shit like that.
Right.
I think good people fucking talk about stuff and raise their hand and ask questions. That's what we want.
Just like, what are you talking about, internment camp guy? Did you hear the words that came out of your mouth? Because when I heard that, I'm like, he said that on national television. And what bugged me the most is the guy interviewing him was just like, well, let's go back to commercial break. And I'm just like, he wasn't like panic commercial. Like sometimes when someone says something completely idiotic, they're like, cut to commercial. And he's like, well, thanks for joining us, Sergeant. And coming up next. And I'm just like, you let him say that on national television and you go, what the fuck did you just say?
What the fuck did you just say,
like, if I was a journalist, but the words out of my mouth at that moment would be like, what the fuck?
That's the thing though, is that then you wouldn't have access.
That's true.
Because it's crazy how that's the game. I mean, our fourth estate is no longer in my mind. Because
I think that's why everyone's going to these fringe internet.
Well, the people that ask the
websites.
difficult questions get blocked.
Yeah, and they're
Or
getting
they-
killed.
Or and we've talked about this on other podcasts, but I mean, this administration, it's an A.
Oh, okay. Chief of
Administration.
staff.
I was like, hasn't this administration been really going after journalists, like full bore? Like,
I mean,
they're just fucking.
certain journalists.
I thought it was like just
seems-
journalists in general, journalists that are asking questions.
There is a bit of me lately where, when you question things, I just feel like it doesn't get enough play. I just feel like if you ask the questions, people are like, "Why are you asking that question?" Instead of not journalists being shut out. It just seems like, "Well, that's a stupid question. We're not going to answer it." And people are like, "That's okay, because we trust this." Regime or whatever you want to call it. Right? Not regime's too strong of a word, but the
I don't
people
know
in
if
charge
it's
right
too
now.
strong of a word.
It's just like
The
you're-
oligarchy.
It's like you're kind of like an idiot if you ask that question. But we're
Well,
like,
I love how they just don't give an answer and just like say like blip. They basically go blip blip bop, blip, 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 next question. And you're like,
you didn't answer it.
you didn't answer that at all.
Right. But that's politics. I mean, that's always how it's been, right?
I don't know.
Or at least that's
There's,
how we're conditioned to
there's some
behave.
people that like are pretty honest and straight shooters. I think
I think so.
not many of them.
You mentioned the journalist thing, which made me think about. You mentioned people getting targeted by the IRS, and we didn't talk about this off the record, but the Planned Parenthood videos that came out.
Oh my gosh.
There was something that shady happened. How they kind of investigated those people who made the videos through the IRS almost immediately as soon as they came out.
Did they really?
At least that's what I saw. And
That one lady said like, I want a Lamborghini.
yeah,
When I heard that and I saw her picture, I'm like, she looks like one of the creepiest people I've ever seen in my life.
it was creepy. And like
Selling baby parts?
it's weird because as a person who's like, I'm pro-life, but I don't want to think about it. Like I don't want to think about how nasty.
I don't think you
disgusting
should
it
be
is.
selling baby parts.
But yeah, when I see that video, I'm just like, that just seems evil or wrong. It's just
Yeah, that
weird.
seems like something like, you know when they show this is no, I shouldn't say what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it didn't sit well with me. I'm just like, this is weird.
I didn't realize they got targeted like quickly.
Now I feel bad not having the article.
Well, regardless of that video and everything in general, that I just heard the soundbite. I guess I didn't see the video. I just heard the sound bites and I was just like, this is fucking. It made my skin crawl.
Right. It was, and they apologized for the tone of the ladies in the video
What are you apologizing for?
because they were doing their job, but she was just doing it so.
They weren't
Like-
doing their job though. They were breaking laws.
Well, that's what they say, but they're saying what they did was legal because they are allowed to give body parts to researchers, and they charge, handling costs, which isn't profiting off of it or something like that. It is weird. I mean, like I said,
People
I'm
just trying to make up shit to just be like, no, see, we can just change the way we say it. It's a handling cost. We're not actually charging for the body. It's like, all right, so yeah, so you're only charging like $50 or $75 for these different specimens or different pieces. And so you're saying it's a handling cost because you think you could charge a lot more if you wanted to, but you're just charging a handling fee.
right. They in the video, the second
She says she
girl,
wants a Lamborghini.
She made it seem like she could profit off of it, and made it sound like there's
She said she
a
wanted a
window
Lamborghini.
to do that. And she talked that back. She's just like, I was just joking. Like I want to.
Oh, shut the fuck up. She looks like an evil cunt. I'm sorry. She looks like Cruella DeVille.
I mean that.
You put her in a
That was
fucking-
the thing,
You
like-
put her in a mink coat with like white spots on it, and she'd just be skinning puppies.
Again, I gotta defend what I feel like is left. I'm like, yeah, I'm still like, yeah, I want women's rights, but at the same time, like,
I
if you
want
just look at
rights.
if you just look at the video and just kind of like,
It doesn't.
without
matter.
putting like any kind of lens on it and just embrace what it is, you're like, this doesn't seem right. Like, it doesn't pass like that, like logical, like this isn't right.
Fails the test.
Yeah, I'm like this something's wrong here.
There's lots of smoke.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of smoke, and they're
It's
like,
like,
waving it and
I'm
fanning it.
trying to
like,
be impartial. I'm just taking this in, and I'm like, I don't like it. That's how I came out of the washer.
Well, it doesn't mean that women shouldn't still have a choice. It doesn't mean women shouldn't still have the ability to have an abortion, in my opinion.
There's a lot of people that
That's-
get mad at this company that or this people videotaping because they're trying to destroy Planned Parenthood.
They can go fuck themselves. People are getting mad. It's like you're getting mad at the wrong people here. The thing that makes me question any part of the abortion thing is, an organization that might be helping support late-term abortions and maybe prolong the period in which a woman's pregnant because maybe they want to harvest a different semen. I mean, I don't know if that was going on, but you question, what kind of samples do they want?
It was definitely brought up by the videotapers.
And
that seemed like they suggested that there's a way that
they could do that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't chop them up. We don't crunch. We won't be as crunchy about it.
It did make it sound like they were suggesting that a late-term abortion would be better to sell specimens for. And when you just hear it said that way, you're just like, oh God, what?
Yeah, like so. Wait, a woman might have wanted one months ago, and you somehow figured, the schedule's pretty booked.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna be able to get it for 7 months.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna be almost due by then. It's okay. We'll do it the not crunchy way.
Oh God. The whole Again,
I'm pretty sure
the
those
whole
countries.
process is icky to me. It's icky. I'm too immature to handle these things.
The thing I wasn't gonna say, and I'm just gonna fucking say it.
Okay.
I was saying this is what I was thinking in my fucked up head. Because everyone has fucked up thoughts. It's just most people aren't willing to admit them, I think.
No,
maybe
you're
not.
right.
Maybe not. But countries that have like some fucked up countries are like, oh, they stone people to death and stuff like that. There's some people like that cop you were talking about earlier, like people like that, where I just feel like I don't really care. I don't really want to hear your fucking pathetic excuses. We are just gonna fuck you up. You're getting fucked up because you need to be made an example of. So people realize, if you really fuck up and do creepy shit and that voice in the back of your head screaming this is wrong and you don't listen to it, you're going to get fucked up. Because I don't think...
people should at least be, punished for it. I don't know if fucking them up necessarily is the way to go, but I understand that feeling. There's that rage that builds within most people are like, this needs to be fucked up.
Yeah, but I don't think prisons actually... prisons are what we've decided is like punishment. But it doesn't mean it's the right punishment.
Right. So, you're somewhat of a capital punishment fan.
No, I'm not.
No. Well, it sounded like.
I'm not normally.
Emotionally.
Like when you get to really disgusting, like someone who like might be supporting, like murdering, like I think when you're at a late term abortion, when it's in the 3rd trimester and there's a little baby inside a woman, like I don't think an abortion is such a thing when it's like it's a few cells. I'm sorry. That's a gateway. That's a gateway to let a life come into a body. Because I believe our spirits are a thing before they enter this realm. Right. I believe that we're all here to learn, and we come from a world of energy, and we're all part of the same thing. But I believe that's been here before. Like that's a thing before it comes into this reality.
Yeah.
And that this is a moment that we have in these bodies, and so that moment in time is a gateway to let us something come into that body and experience this for a little while, and it will fade back again. But if you get it early enough, I'm like, it's like, you know what, that wasn't probably really a life yet. But when it's you take what do they call it, an MRI or a sonogram or whatever, and there's like a little fucking thing sitting in there with arms and legs.
Right.
I think it's time to like let it happen and put up for adoption.
Right. There's people out there who can't have kids, right? So I don't know how many people need adoptive either, but it's a sticky subject. But it was nasty.
What do you
listen to it?
What do you think the outcome of this or the blowback might be? You seem like you were concerned about.
I am weak in the sense that I'm like, I don't have a dog in the fight because like I want women to have rights. So I'm like, you guys decide what's right, wrong. But I just can tell them like this seems wrong to me. And people are worried that Planned Parenthood might be defunded, and they do a lot of good things when it comes to like safe sex and.
What do you mean you don't have a dog in the fight? Because you're not a woman.
I'm not a woman, or I don't have like a girlfriend right now at this certain point. So I'm like saying,
family. You have you have a sister. You have a mom. You have women in your life.
So I want them to have Planned Parenthood for safe sex. Like there's a lot of, lower class people who depend on Planned Parenthood to help them, make responsible decisions with their sex lives.
Right.
So I don't want the whole thing shut down, but I don't want people on the left to be like, oh, they're just trying to come out and get us. And I'm just like, this is fucked up. This is weird. Like, you should at least listen to why this is weird. But I feel like some of them are just like, nah, this is just the right trying to be the right again. And kind of it is. Like, I'll give them that. And like, these people are definitely coming after Planned Parenthood to destroy it because they're of the ideas like, we don't want abortions. And at the same time, I'm just like, again, like, I see both sides because I kind of don't like abortion, but then again, I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I'm not a woman.
I agree. I think you're coming at it from a very sound perspective. One, being a man, also, I think it's up to women. I think this is a discussion that men should back the fuck out of and let women have it.
Yeah.
times when I mean, I don't support abortion as a way of just mitigating having a child because you have unsafe sex all the time. I think that's atrocious, disgusting, and fuck you. There's plenty of ways that you can keep yourself from getting pregnant. So smarten up. But when it comes to rape, when it comes to the woman's health, when it comes to just even someone who they made a mistake and they're not ready to have a child and they stop it very early and they're trying to because they're not ready because this world needs good parents, and if you're not in a position where you're going to be a good parent, we don't need another shithead running around. I'm sorry, like people are like, no, it's a gift, it's a life. There's plenty of gifts of life. They're all around us, right? But we can still be smart about it and use science and technology to help us. But when it comes to those late stage ones, that's when I get a little like, what? It's a little late in the game to be making it. You had plenty of time to figure this out. Why did you think you were fucking getting morning sickness? Why do you think you were fucking uncomfortable? You knew you were just ignoring the signs, and now you're like, I just thought I was eating tomato.
There are some people that it surprised me when I learned that they didn't learn they're pregnant until
it's like go fuck it. It's like go fuck yourself. Like go fuck yourself.
Don't certain things stop when that happens, or maybe it's more
you're not getting your period for a while. Your breasts are getting larger and more sensitive. Like there's all these things. Your body's changing. Your fucking vagina's fucking like growing teeth or whatever it does.
I think I'm pretty sure that's how it goes.
Yeah, they grow the teeth
and then they have tentacles.
Because that's like. It sort of circumcises the baby as it comes out. It's like
kind of like a little squid speak, I believe it becomes.
You just grow a little meat wad. Your clitoris turns into a meat wad. She's like, my meat wad.
That's horrible.
Goes down
now,
there,
I'm terrified.
Licks his wife's pussy. And she's like, oh, that was a meat wad. Just suck a meat.
If it did talk, and the meatball.
Oh, that was pretty juicy and meat. You licked me all night long.
Bam.
Oh, it's so juicy.
Rodney went there.
The juicy pussy.
My God. There's another story we could end the night on.
Juicy pussy?
Juicy pussy. So, survey says that pussies are now 10% juicier than they used to be.
Thank God to those fucking cow hormones that you wanted. Juicier.
Thanks to the hot and humid summer in the Northeast.
They got juicier pussies. They got juicy pussies. Ooh, ooh. The world is a crazy motherfucking place, Derek.
I don't like it.
Well, man.
I don't like it.
I want to start a compound that is eco-friendly, self-sustaining, and really requires no inputs. Because I think that's how we free people. I think we free people by literally building structures
self-sustainable
life that take care of us.
Yeah.
Like literally building things that take care of us, and then so you're free to do whatever the fuck you want.
That's the goal, man. Kind of minimize a little bit.
But it's not.
Back to what you need.
It's that consumption goal. Most of our economy is driven on human consumption.
That's true. But I mean, spiritually, or down to the roots of our human existence, it's all about.
Well, right, but if we get back to that, it'd be beautiful.
Right.
We can rediscover that. I think that's what we need to do. I think we need a human revolution in terms of waking up and reassessing our needs, wants, and goals.
I think, it's the kind of the quote-unquote revolution we need is this just kind of waking up where it's like, we don't need to have this system. We can change it. I just feel people don't think about
I think you just become independent.
Yeah.
I mean, you just become have more redundancies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if everyone learns how to take care of themselves a little bit better, which that's the thing that scares the shit out of me, that if we do have a major financial collapse, I was reading an article that was talking about, it was comparing the Great Depression and today. And it was talking about the character of people and the skills in which we have today in comparison to then, right? So we're so dependent on technology. And we don't have a lot of the hard skills in terms of taking care of ourselves. Most of us don't farm. Most of us don't garden. Most of us don't have livestock. Most of us don't know, basic small motor repair. We just don't have a lot of the simple skills that people used to have as kind of like a thing that you just pass down. Most of us don't just do construction on our homes or just we rely on things. Yeah. So if things would really shut down, our people, we are so dependent. Those bread lines are going to be much worse than they used to. Back then it was tough, but people fucking got by.
I think the irony would be that the people who would think who weren't making a big income,
the trade skills
would become all the people that are rich, they don't have all the money, but I feel like
if their money's worth nothing.
But if their money's worth nothing, then everybody else who's building a community and actually farming and like does all the good stuff, it's like, oh, fuck you guys, go, like we're not helping you now.
Well, it's just there would be huge transfers of wealth.
Yeah.
I mean, well, maybe not huge transfers of wealth. We'd see a lot of the haves become have-nots or just come back down.
Right.
And I mean, that has happened lots of times.
True.
So that could, which wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, you're talking about this wealth divide that's occurring, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen these people, they're just taking this cream off the top and like, oh.
I'm sure that's how they take their spoons.
I mean, we all
I know, I'm just...
come up with reasons to justify our actions.
Right.
I mean, because, okay, come on. Like, if you won the lottery, like, Derek, what would you do if you won, like, let's say you won, like, $900 million. So that after the government took half your money, let's say you ended up with, like, $500 million, like, cash. Or, like, that's what you got. Like, boom, all of a sudden you had $500 million in a, like, fund.
I really, like, I'm very simple. Like, I just want a house and, like, enough to eat.
If you had $500 million, you'd ball out of control for a bit.
How much does a roller coaster cost?
Not that much money.
I get one of those for my backyard.
Yeah. So, I mean, we all hate on people that have lots of money, but at the same time, like, if you were to acquire extreme amounts of wealth,
I would buy a boat.
we would all do stupid things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I had $500 million, I'd have, like, a few nice houses.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably definitely have a very nice boat. I'd have some cool cars. And then I would, like, invest some and save some, probably try to start some businesses or some like, try to do some stuff that would continue to build wealth, but...
Well, this is off topic, but I've
If
always
you ball out, right?
I'd want to just travel and like not have a home for like a year and a half or 2 years and just like
No, if you
stay
had
in
$500
hotels.
million, dude, if you would just stay in hotels, or would you just buy fucking houses in ballin' ass places?
Well, I think I'd get bored after a place for a while and it's like I don't need a house here. I just want to come visit whenever.
That's why you get your big ass yacht, and your yacht just takes you there.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool, I guess. But I can't.
Because then you can also just be like, you can fly somewhere, be like, all right, so say you have your yacht in the Mediterranean,
Yeah.
and then you could fly back to the United States and just tell your crew, be like, all right, I want it to be in California, you know, by ever such a date, and they would bring your boat across the ocean
The whole way.
around and just meet you wherever. That's what they do.
That's
They
crazy.
have crews on big ass boats, and that's what they do. It's just like people fly places and tell them like, yo, be here with that boat on this date, and then like the boat's there and ready for them,
Wow.
whether they use it or not.
I feel like it's more than 500 million now. You gotta pay that crew and everything.
I mean, if you have $500 million, you can have a pretty big ass boat with a crew
Yeah.
if you want to. You'd have to have some businesses bringing cash
Sure,
flow.
you gotta keep the cash flow though.
Yeah.
That's the thing with you, and that's different with me. If I had 500 million, like done. Like I don't want to work anymore. I am one of those people.
You don't have to work. You have people work for you.
That's true. If I could find something where I'm like, this is a good idea, I invest in it, and it brings me money, that's pretty easy to do.
I mean, surround yourself with smart people and people that aren't going to fuck you over. I mean, yeah, you could definitely have vultures. They're just like, oh, just give me a bunch of money, Gary. But going back to my point, it's like I vilify a lot of rich people, and I think I really do genuinely want to simplify my life, because I think if I can reduce the amount of money that I need to survive and live, then it's just that much less want that you have in your life.
True.
And if you have less want in your life, then you can live more by what your heart tells you to do and what your ambition tells you to do and what you really want to do. And you don't have to be driven by necessity so much. Like, I need to do this because I need to do, like, if I don't do that, I want this. So if you have that security where you really have, like, all right, I have a simple life, I have a simple way of doing this, then you have freedom.
Yeah. Freedom! That's the biggest thing. Wow, I just saw, this is what you said earlier. Jon Stewart for president.
You might run.
It's in the opinions section.
Fuck.
So someone else has your opinion.
Well, lots of people have that opinion, but he should actually do it. It would be actually interesting. It's like
What if that's why he's quitting?
It's like Ronald Reagan. It's like, you know, celebrities, I mean, I'm not a big Reagan guy, but Reagan has had a huge impact. I mean, there's people that love Reagan. I'm fucking like,
Yeah. There's a whole
I think
Reagan.
my cousin called his dog Reagan because he loves Reagan so much. Like, those super neoconservatives fucking just love him.
I just wasn't alive, so I don't understand the whole love. I understand that he made the economy better.
I don't think they make the economy better.
It appeared that way for...
Yeah. But, I don't know. It'd be refreshing just to have someone who is extremely intelligent that's going to call it like it is. Like, you were talking about how comedians in government, in politics...
You got Al Franken in there already, which I think people like, that he's able to be in the Senate and just being like, just blasting people when they're saying shit that doesn't make sense, or they're wasting time, or
He doesn't even do it enough, though.
Well, that's the thing. Like, as a comedian, you don't have to live up to that reputation of the polished politician. If you come in as a comedian, people don't have that expectation that you're some kind of golden boy, which I think is always a false premise to hold a politician to begin with. Because then they all start talking out of their asses and pretend like they haven't done shit we know they've done. Like, Barack Obama smoked pot, and people are like, oh, he's like, well, or like when Clinton ran, he's like, oh, I didn't inhale. I'm like, fuck you, you were probably doing cocaine.
You know, he still does fucking cocaine.
Yeah.
What about that guy that got caught doing fucking cocaine in Britain recently? That guy that was like,
I'm
he's
thinking
like
of
the
the
Lord of,
Canadian guy.
he's like the Lord of, oh, well, there's that guy too. But yeah, that guy in fucking, and he was just talking about how he wanted to fucking bang some young Asian hookers too. And it's just all on video. And it's just like, you know, the hypocrisy in the world is fucking, there's, you know, it's humid in here right now, like the
Yeah.
air's thick. I feel like that's like the sense in this country. We're on like, yeah, like you said, we're in summer mode. People are usually lighter. There's barbecues. It's warm out. When it's warmer out, people are usually happier. Like it's just, you know, people fucking are all upset about global temperatures coming up. And I actually think if it gets a little warmer out everywhere, you know, I think we'll all enjoy things a little bit more.
Well, I mean, when by the equator.
We'll migrate up here.
That's true.
But just being silly. I'm definitely nervous, man. I'm nervous about where things are heading. We're on the fringe of draft age. I mean, no, we're very draftable, right? Where's the draft end?
I feel like it's 35. I'm like, I think we're like, well, I forgot how old we are. I guess we are on the fringe.
We're right in the meat of it.
Yeah. Well, baseball players got drafted when they were, like, I'm thinking about my baseball history, and I'm pretty sure older baseball
40s?
players went to,
Can you be in your
To war.
40s?
I think if it was like a world war, I think you could be. You could be like, especially these days where you could be like a technology guy. They make you a tech.
This is saying 19 to 26.
Oh man. I feel like they would change that if they had to.
They would try and change it real quick. Everyone's dead. Okay.
Yeah, September, October. We'll see. I feel like my paranoia will die down if the crash doesn't happen by September, October. I mean, I'm sure it could happen later than that. For some
No,
reason,
it could be happening really slowly.
yeah.
I mean, I think things are going to continue to unfold probably pretty slowly because the powers that be aren't going to give up control very easily. And they have a lot of ammo. They have a lot of time to stall things. But you're watching this degradation of things and things just slowly going off the rails and information spreading so much quicker.
Mm. I heard the conspiracy theory that, you know, they're just trying to keep it afloat until after the next election. And I almost feel like Bush tried the same thing and then it crashed right before the election.
I've heard of a conspiracy theory, which this one's way out there, but I liked it just because I love conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Where if we start to have a major financial collapse and possibly a major world war and declared martial law before the election, Obama could actually extend his term.
I've heard that one too.
And it's just like,
Did you hear this week that he jokes about it?
well, I heard him say like, oh, but I think I could win if I ran for another term, but you know, that's the law, so.
When I heard that, I'm like, all those right-wing conspiracy freaks just freaked out.
I read that, I'm like, you know, he's just saying that.
Right.
But then I've read those theories before then, but I'm like, if that all would happen, it'd be like, what the fuck? Like, people wrote about this. Like,
Right. No, I hear you too, because if you're out there in conspiracy land, which we both go into, and you see weird stuff like that happen, it's hard not to
That's not
turn
gonna
up.
happen.
It's hard to turn up that like impulse where it's like, what just happened? He said that? What?
He's like, oh, I think I'd win again.
You're like,
Because you've heard other dictators say that, like, oh, you know, people want me to be this.
Yeah. Oh God, we're gonna be in internment camp in like 3 weeks.
And people make a term again, like, why do we have this guy? This guy's a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
He's pathetic. Look how skinny and frail his little pathetic body is.
Well, in 3 weeks, look for our live podcast from inside Tennessee internment camp for the maladjusted. Virginia, yes. But thanks for joining us.
Oh, we're signing off now?
I'm signing off. I'm sweaty. I'm tired.
I'm sweaty too, but
I feel like fucking tonight. I feel like fucking tonight. I feel like fucking tonight. Ow,
see you later, assholes.
Union shaft.
Until next time. Shake weights.
Shake weight.